So today we're going to talk about the top 3 things you must do to fully promote your next webinar. So I've heard this from many health coaches before. They're worried that they're going to plan this webinar and nobody is going to show up, or maybe just mom and dad or your best friend, but not anybody who's actually going to buy a program. So let me know in the comments, have you ever had a webinar with only a couple of people on live with you, but you thought this is so wonderful and I want more people? Because the more you can have people on the line, the more that you can influence to help them change their lives, right? To make some different decisions. So the best way is to promote your webinars. So it is absolutely possible to have well-attended webinars, even during a pandemic. So welcome. I see more people tuning in right now. If you're just coming in, let me know, have you given a webinar before and how was your attendance? Or maybe you haven't given a webinar before, and just let me know what's stopping you from giving a webinar. So come on in to the chat, and I'm so happy that you are here. So stay with me till the end because you have a nice little bonus for this live training this week. So you're going to get a link to download this ebook, and it's my creation of how to create and grow an engaged Facebook group that loves you back. So stay tuned because I would love to give that to you. So if we haven't met yet, I am Lori Campa. I am a certified integrated nutrition health coach and wellness educator and the owner of Mindful Health. So I teach yoga, I do wellness workshops in person and online, more so online during the pandemic. I also run Workshops Done Academy, which is a school for health coaches, teaching them all the ins and outs of giving workshops and how to find clients with those workshops. So I have found in my business, giving wellness workshops is the single most powerful way to make an impact in the world while growing your clientele, your income, and really your freedom to life-changing levels. I don't know how I would find my clients if I didn't have these wellness talks. So we're going to get right into the top 3 things that you need to do to fully promote your next webinar. So I suggest having a notebook handy, someplace that you can take some notes, because at the end, I want you to let me know what's one thing that you learned today that you're going to put in action for your next webinar that you give. So the first one I'm going to spend a little bit more time on because this is where I see many health coaches making the mistake. And it's this 30-day runway. So what that means is the 30 days before you give your webinar, we want you to be thinking about ways that you can grow your list, nurture your list, really have them get to know you so that it's easy for them to say, when they get that invitation to your webinar, oh, I already know Sally. I already know Jenny. I know what she's been giving me valuable information on her weekly emails or social media. Then I'm just going to say, yes, I definitely want to attend, right? So when we go to a cold audience, somebody that you really haven't talked to much, they might not know what you are all about. And so they're not sure if they want to sign up. So the key to a successful webinar is absolutely all about the preparation. It's all the things that happen before the webinar. So we need to be thinking about warming up our list in a couple different ways. So a weekly email is a great way that they are just knowing that every week that they're going to be getting a wonderful email from you, and they'll be saying, oh, look at this is a wonderful email from Renee. She's now talking to me about this. Okay, Sharon now has just had this weekly email, or maybe they're promoting this lead magnet. Maybe Diane has one about all the different ways to kick sugar, right? So when we are giving this kind of contact to our list, they're remembering who we are, they're getting to know us and to like us. And just let you know, I will be having a special promotion for some of Jamie Jones' done for you content in the next week. So watch out for that. So, and on social media, maybe it's giving these live weekly talks or maybe posting on social media. But we want to warm up our audience. So it's an easy yes for them to sign up for your webinar. So think about all the different webinars, masterclasses that you're invited to, and which ones that you just automatically know you're going to attend, and ones that you have to think about and say, I don't think that's worth my time, or I don't really know who that person is it going to be a valuable use of my time? So I just did a copy and paste of just showing you what does my runway look like. So right now I am promoting my 10-day Whole Foods cleanse, which is a new program. I'm using some of the bones from the Detox Done program with Julia Sarver. So I started in December to warm up my audience. And what I did is I was giving away lead magnets, and I did this 12 days of Christmas. So for 12 days, they got a new lead magnet that they could download. So most of those lead magnets I got from Jamie Jones with her content club. So it was nice and easy to do that. But then I also was thinking about, okay, what other ways am I going to do this? I had weekly emails. So I was messaging some people. Then you want to schedule, when are you going to announce your webinar? What I see so many people do is just think about the dates of your program, and they might be saying, oh, can I start this in 2 weeks? Well, you can if you've been nurturing your audience before. But if you haven't had a lot of contact with them, then you're going to want to push your program out, because you don't want to have a webinar that has 2 people show up and a program that only has 1 person signed up, right? And then when do you announce your webinar? So typically a Tuesday at 9 a.m. is the best day to announce it, that you're going to get those automatic yeses. And then think about, when are you going to have your webinars? When are you going to open up your cart? Typically, you have your cart open the first day of your webinar. So I always like to have that mental note. I want to have that open beforehand so I don't have to be worrying about it. And I like to give 2 or 3 webinars. So for this last launch, I did 2 different webinars so that when people sign up, they could choose which date is best for them. So you'll notice I had a Thursday night, and then I had a Saturday morning as well. So I like to give out lead magnets, meaning it's a freebie, something that they're going to give their email address in exchange for a gift. So this is something that you could do. So then you think about, what is the rest of your program going to need? You're going to need to know, when is your early bird pricing end? When do you close the cart? When is the program actually going to take place? So for my Whole Foods cleanse, my cart closes tomorrow. So I did just want to give you all a special offer. If anybody is interested in going through my special program, just go to mindfulhealthwithlori.com/program, and then enter in the coupon code COACH with a capital C, and you'll all get 50% off my program. I know for myself, I love doing other coaches' programs, and I put it as an expense because it helps me to grow. So in my program, I have a lot of different things that I learned from doing 2 Whole30s with a holistic nutritionalist. And so I'm putting some of that information into this. I've also done some cleanses on my own through like Dr. Mark Hyman. So I'm putting some of these journaling prompts and different things like that. So it's a much bigger program. It's 3 weeks, 4 live calls, and then a guided reintroduction. So again, it's mindfulhealthwithlori.com/program, and enter in the coupon code COACH for 50% off. But I would love to have you in the group if you like. So, and the same thing with Workshops Done Academy. I'd like to have my whole year planned in advance, so I know the 3 different times that I'm going to be launching Workshops Done Academy. And just to have transparency, I may only do it twice. I put in 3 times, and then I decide what I feel at the time. But so we're going to be starting like that warm up stage, because I know I'm going to be announcing a webinar to everybody on February 22nd. So what do I need to do to show you that giving workshops is valuable, right? So like this training today is part of that. I actually started a week early here. So, and if you want information on Workshops Done, it's just workshopsdone.com/program. And again, we're going to be doing a group in March. So I like to think about looking at the calendar. that we need to build your email list, nurture them for about 30 days before you promote your webinar. Then you do your webinar promotion for about a week. And usually that's like every other day you email, you do maybe some Facebook Lives, social media. Then you do your webinar, and that's the same day the cart opens. It's always a crazy day, I feel like. Then you can send the replay, right? When you give a masterclass of a webinar, you can record it so people can see it. Then you're starting to promote your program. So thinking about all the different dates, there's so much that you need to think about ahead of time, right? So think about when you're picking the date for your webinar, what are the ideal times that your clients would be able to attend? And if you're not sure, it's a great way for some interaction with them. If you have a Facebook group, or even by email or by personal message, just ask them, like, what's a good time? Like, when would you want to tune in for this? This is what's coming up. And especially if you personal message somebody, could you imagine if you message 10 people and you ask them, do you think that they're going to want to show up for your masterclass? Absolutely. They're now invested. You've helped them, right? Or they're helping you. So look at the whole year. So maybe you do a quarterly detox. I used to do it quarterly. Now I'm doing it twice a year. But really looking at what are the dates that you want to do your cleanse, your detox. You get rid of those 4 times. Look at the holidays. Then backtrack a week for the webinar. Then backtrack 30 days for that promotion, so that you know not to have anything back to back, right? You need to have some time for that nurturing in between. So I use all year long calendar. I have it up on my wall over here. That's what I'm looking over here. But I like to then mark it off in different colored for markers. And then I also do like the kids' days off of school. So I think about vacations and special days like that. But Facebook groups are an outstanding way that you can really connect and grow and nurture your audience. So if you don't have a Facebook page or a Facebook group, I would highly recommend that. Right now, I would say the Facebook group is where you want to be, because that's more interactive. The Facebook page is more of like a business card and a place where if you ever want to run Facebook ads, that you would need to have that. But I also like with my Facebook group that I can ask them questions. And when I'm asking them questions, I'm saying, hey, I want to provide you with these exact resources. So what's your main problem? What's your biggest concern with your health? Let me know. And question 2 is, I'm so happy that you are here. Can you please share with me your email address, and I'm going to send you a free guide on reducing, on quitting sugar. So it's whatever I'm promoting at the time, and then I put them into my system so that they get onto my email list. So there's many different ways that you can nurture and really build that relationship before you do your webinar. But what I love is just creating consistency with some kind of weekly touch. You want to touch them some way, whether that's email, a live, maybe it's both ways. So last year in 2021, my word of the year was consistency. And so you'll notice I'm here every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Time doing a live training for coaches. And I always want to make it valuable so that you can continue to show up. And then it's recorded for my podcast. It's recorded for YouTube. So there's many different ways that people can find me. And when you are with Facebook, you can welcome your new members often. You can encourage that pure engagement. But you're learning about the people. You're learning about the people that are there, and just continue to grow your group and show up so that they get to know you. So if you would like to download a free gift from me, just come to loricampa.biz/gift. And then you can download this guide, and it's a guide on how to create and grow an engaged Facebook group that loves you back. So it's a huge book. So again, it's Lori Campa, LORIKAMPA.biz/gift. So if you want, you can screenshot this if you're watching this on video, and then you can download it later. So I love knowing exactly what to do. So I want to hear in the chat room from you, what is one thing that you're going to do to warm up and grow your list? So come into the chat and let me know what is one way that you're going to warm up and grow your list. So when you have your next webinar, they're like, yes, I want to sign up. That looks like something that I would want to do. It's a great way to spend my time. So the next two tips I'm going to go through a little bit more quickly, but that first one was so important. I wanted to spend more time on it. So tip number 2 is to create a simple registration page. A mistake that I see is that some health coaches, either they don't have a registration page at all, so they're not getting that email going onto their list, right? Having a workshop, having a masterclass, a webinar, whatever you call it, is the best lead generator to get your email addresses. So you want to have a way to get their email. With every single question you ask on a registration page, it is more likely that they will not be signing up. So we want to make sure that it's going to be simple with just their name and then just with their first name. So yeah, so what I'm seeing into the chat is like, yeah, doing more weekly lives. Absolutely. Start weekly themes. Yeah, themes for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Doing a weekly email. So there's lots of different comments here. So thank you so much for sharing. So when we have this registration, they can sign up for a webinar, or they can sign up even for an in-person workshop, right? So you can have this done many different ways, depending on if you're just starting out or if you've been in the business as well for a while. So when I first started out, I was very intimidated by all technology. And so I just used Zoom because I didn't know how to create a landing page. I didn't have a virtual assistant to create one for me. Now I see, okay, it is simple, but at the time it was overwhelming to me. So it depends on where you're at. But when you set up a Zoom, just set it up, make sure on the registration that you say it's required, right? And then you can even put a passcode on it. So everybody who registers, they will get that email with the Zoom link and then the passcode. So it's up to you if you want to do the passcode, but registration, this is free. This is still on the free Zoom. And so then once you say like, yeah, I want it to be registered, I want everyone to sign up, their Zoom is just going to give you a Zoom link. And so that link is for everyone just to sign up for your webinar. So you can do it nice and easy. And again, I just like to say, first name and email address. You can ask for the last name as well, but you don't need to ask really anything else. I love like finding out about their concerns. I would love that, but knowing that a lot of people don't want to fill out more, it's just easier to keep it simple. And what I also love is that Zoom will then send something out and it will say like meeting registration approved. And here, add this time to your calendar. Here is the Zoom link when you come in, right? So there's all that information is done to you, and that people can add it to their Google Calendar, their Outlook calendar, their Yahoo. So it's nice and easy to get that on there. You then can also download your Excel sheet of everybody who is signed up for your webinar. So you can then send them additional emails from that or however you would like. But after someone registers for a webinar, we want to set it up so that either they get redirected to a thank you page, like what Zoom just automatically did, said, hey, here you go, save it to your calendar, here's the link, right? Or if you're using a landing page that it's redirected to like, hey, thanks for signing up. Here's the information, here's the Zoom link. I also like to do an automatic email, but you can do it whatever way works best for you. And one mistake I do see a lot of health coaches make is they just think that you're inviting that one person, but you're actually inviting them and their network. So ask them to share the webinar with their friends and just say, you know, it's like so much more fun when doing something new with friends. I have to say, like for my Whole Foods cleanse, so many of the people that signed up that I didn't know, they all came from somebody doing the cleanse and they said, hey, I'm doing this cleanse. You want to do this with me? Or, hey, I'm going to this new masterclass about how to reduce cravings. Do you want to come on this masterclass with me, right? So inviting their friends and asking them over and over again. And I like to set up as much as I can in automation, but when I first started, I was not able to do this. I would just copy from the Excel sheet from what happened in Zoom for the registration, put it in my email, blind copying them all, sending out confirmations, sending them out, lots of reminders, 2 days before, a day before, and then the day of the masterclass, you want to send out at least 2 emails. Plus do all of that on your social media and anywhere else you are. But this, a simple email that Zoom sends out, it just says like, thank you for registering. Here is the topic that they're going to be talking about. Here is the email that if you have questions, it's going to be your email. So utilize this free service because it held me back from getting emails for so long because I wasn't sure how to do that. So tip number 1, we talked about this 30-day runway, and a lot of you talked about having consistency and really doing something more with your group to nurture them. Now with tip number 2, I want to hear from you, how do you want to set up your next webinar registration? Do you want to do a simple registration with Zoom? Do you want to do a landing page, maybe on a website? What is the plan that you think that's going to work for you? We want to make it so it's doable. Sharon saying, what do you think of an incentive like winning an Amazon gift card for those who invite? I love that, Sharon. I think so many ways that you can give an incentive. So I also like to do a show up live gift. So I did it for today, but I didn't promote it like I really could have. But when you say you're going to get a free gift, a download, and it might be a download of just some of your favorite recipes, it doesn't need to be complex, things that you already have in a detox that you're doing, different ways to kick sugar. But hey, you're going to get a free gift if you show up live, or you're going to be in a drawing for a free Amazon gift card. So I really like that. Yes, and thank you so much. Mindy's asking, is there a replay of this? Absolutely. I'm recording this for my podcast, Health Coaching Made Easy, and also for YouTube. So Renee is just saying, I just set it up on-demand webinar replay through Zoom. Absolutely. So, and Renee has been doing this for a while, and I think that's a wonderful way to do that. Yeah, so Sharon's to say, my landing page idea was inspired by yours. Great. Yeah, you can look at my page. I think there's a lot that I need to update on my website, but I'm more than happy that you can use me as an inspiration. So the third thing that you must do to really promote your webinar is to send personal messages. And there is so much power with personal messages. And when we create a warm lead list and message everyone on that list, people really feel heard and seen. I think it's fun because I love to connect with people and just have that one-on-one time as well. But they're saying, oh, Lori's thinking about me, and she's thinking that I'm going to like this masterclass on reducing cravings or detoxing your body for beginners. That's really nice of her to think about me. And yeah, I think I'll sign up. Or maybe the webinar's already happened and they've attended and you're messaging them about possibly joining you on to your program. And I just had, for a personal, situation that I just had, I have been promoting my cleanse, and we had a family emergency. So I was out for 3 days this last week during my launch. And so my list of 45 people that I was going to message, I narrowed it down to, I had 5. I had time for 5 because I wanted to get out the emails. I wanted to get all this other stuff done. And so I see the power in this of not having the time to adequately do it like I normally do. I feel that because those 5 people that I messaged, I think 4 of those signed up. And because of the pandemic, I feel like I haven't been out and about seeing people. So just messaging is a really powerful thing. But think about when you message them, go into their brain and think about their situation. What are their problems and why is it worth their time to attend? Because our time is really the most valuable thing around, even if you're giving the masterclass for free. So they might be thinking like, well, how is this workshop really going to help me? Like, why do I want to show up? So, and what is it worth, to your future clients, really to be healthy? What's it worth for your future clients to have energy, to be eating a healthy diet, to living the life they've always imagined. It's worth a lot, right? What you are offering can possibly change the direction of their life, that their life is going in a way that they're depressed, they're in pain, they're addicted to junk food. And your masterclass, your webinar, may be just what it takes to inspire them to go this other way. So it's important for us to do all these things to promote our masterclass so we get the right people to show up so that you can be there to help them. So I want to hear, what is one tip from these 3 tips, and I gave lots of little tips in between these tips, that you learned today that you will absolutely do for the promotion of your next webinar? Is it making sure that you're really warming and nurturing people before you have your webinar invite come? Is it having that simple registration page and having everything set up so that you're reminding everybody and you have a registration that's simple enough? Or, maybe it's just doing those personal messages, right? It's thinking about reaching out to the people that you know that you can help and talking to them about it. So come into the chat and let me know what's one thing that you learned from today that you're going to do to promote your next webinar. So I'm just going to stop screen sharing here. Yeah, Renee says, yes, sending personal messages. Sharon says, 30-day runway for sure. Oh, Mindy, you're so sweet. She's like, I hope everything is okay. Well, it's not, but it will be okay. So that's my goal right here. And yeah, so lots of different messages here that I think it's so important for us to think about the promotion of the webinar and not just think about that people are going to sign up and that they're going to show up, right? So it's one thing for them to sign up. It's another thing for them to show up. And then the next layer is for them to sign up for your program. So there's so many different layers in this, but this was like a nice general basis to get you going. So thank you so much for being here today.